Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Pinky here today with our new large series of the year. There's going to be other things interspersed because I realized, I forgot to put up certain videos. So there's going to be a couple in between. It won't be straight through, but that's okay. It's all good. Also, it's a dreary, dreary winter day here. So it's going to be a darker video, unfortunately. Winter. So there you go. So we are going to be going into the series. It's a little bit exciting for me. This one I've been planning because my channel is a year old now. So I've been planning this one since February of last year. And I collected all of the samples and some of them are discontinued, but we are still going to try them because sometimes companies bring things back. But I'm just curious. I have them, why not? So you can skip those ones if you're not interested. But it is Born to Stand Out and it is a brand from Korea. Now, traditionally, in Japan and Korea, a lot of the time they tend to have very light scents, something that's not going to really disturb anyone too much. They tend to just be light, not a lot of power to them, not too crazy in the notes. Very simple, very clean, very fresh. This one is Born to Stand Out. So I'm curious, there's one in particular, was it Be My Dookie? It was supposed to be My Cookie or something, but people are calling Be My Dookie because it had an animal note to it. It's in here, but I don't think they make it anymore. But so here we go. Now there are some that are smaller, like this. I know, I don't like these, but what can you do? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna mix them up, pull one out, and then try it. So here we go. And at the end, we will talk about some of my favorite Korean dramas that you should watch. Now I just pulled this one and it is one of the larger ones. Drunk Maple. I like the smell of maple. I don't like to eat it too much though. Is that strange? Now there's people in Canada going, don't hate me, Canadians. I don't like the taste of it as much. It's a little too sweet for me, but I love the smell. So there you go. Okay, so it's actually easier to use like other sites than the actual one. I actually don't care for the Born to Stand Out site. They always had these weird clickers, and like for Christmas it was a middle finger. I was like, what? So you try to make them, I won't do it, but take the middle finger and click on the link, and it's just a pain in the butt. Right now I think it's a horse because I think a horse is the year of the horse, but it's just a little bit frustrating. It's not the site I love the most. We'll just put it that way. So I'll be looking at Ministry of Scent for this one. And it is $210 for a 50 milliliter bottle. That's really expensive, but there you go. An intoxicating blend of sweet maple syrup and golden rum made to be worn on wild nights. I don't know if I can consider maple and golden rum wild. I don't know. Maybe. I've had people spill it on me at a bar, but I don't know if it was that wild. Anyway, perfumers Alex Lee, it says, and the notes are pink pepper, jungle essence, Divana essential oil, rum, coffee, resinoid, maple syrup, soft suede, vanilla, sandalwood, benzoin, and organox. That one I do not know. I'll put the notes below. Hopefully I can find it with the breakdown of what is what. So let us start with the first scent. Ooh, you can definitely smell that maple coming through. Yeah, oof, okay. I've had these a while, so I'm like, is it still in there? This is still in there. Not the best sprayer, but whatever. Okay. Oof, definitely getting that that maple. I mean, it's maple. Ooh. Okay, so the first thing you get, it's on my finger, is a smoky maple. So it's not just maple, it's smoky maple. Almost like a mezcal maple. Interesting. I'm not a big fan of mezcal. No, it does. It reminds me of mezcal a bit. I don't know. I think I'm one of the only people. Everyone I know loves mezcal. And I'm like, I don't want any mezcal. Like, oh, we have a new drink on the menu. No, mezcal. So I'm getting maple, but with a mezcal aspect, and that could be from the rum. Yeah, the rum isn't mezcal. I think with the two mixed together, it's creating that illusion a little bit, or maybe it is in my mind and it's not one of my favorite notes. But this is strong. It's a nice blast. Oh, I forgot to put it on the little card. Okay, so I put it on that card. So you get that smoky maple, and I think it is the rum. I'm not really a big fan of rum myself either. I know everybody's like, what are you a fan of? Just as far as like, I don't mind the smell of it. I don't enjoy drinking it too much, or mezcal. So this one's a little bit, and there is no mezcal in it. It just reminds me of it. Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. Smoky maple, mezcalish with rum. Yeah, I don't know what that is. There's like this strange smokiness to it, and maybe it's one of the notes that I don't know, but it's almost like a charcoal. They're saying pink pepper. I'm not getting pink pepper. Oh, okay, I see. So no, psst, psst, psst. No. My kitty wants to be here. She gets a little bit sensitive to scents, so I don't want her snorting this. So I see what it is. So I think it's the suede. It's the suede. It's the suede coming through with the rum that's creating that mezcal kind of thing. It's suede. The thing is, no, it's definitely suede. It's suede, but it almost has like a gasoline scent to it. Is that strange? This is very weird to me. Yeah, I don't want to get too close to you, baby. Yeah, so what's happening now is the suede is coming through along with that maple and that rum underneath it. So the mezcal is slowly disappearing. There was no mezcal, I repeat. But that scent is going away, so you get the maple with the suede and a little hum of the rum. Interesting. Let's try it here on the shirt. Okay, on the shirt, I definitely get maple, suede, and pink pepper. And getting that pepper in there. That's really interesting. So definitely not as sweet and rum on the shirt. Let's try it on this. Interesting. Here, this needs to sit a bit because it just smells like liquor. Yeah, it smells like rum. Yeah, it mostly smells like rum on that with a little bit of maple. So it's going, the one thing that is consistent is maple, which it promised. It said maple, drunk maple, and it's delivering. So if you like that type of a scent, then you probably will like this. It's just that suede is dulling it a bit. That suede is really dulling it because it can be a little bit sweet. Maple can be a little bit, maple can be a lot for me. And though I love the smell, it can be very cloying sometimes. So the suede is cutting through it. I don't know if I ever would have thought of suede as being the way to quell the scent of maple, though. It is creative, but I don't know, something about the suede. I don't want to say this. This sounds, it seems kind of artificial, if that makes sense, which a lot of it's artificial. We know this, but it's not like a rich suede. No. No. Interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back in an hour because this is morphing and I don't quite know what to think of it. I like how the suede is dulling it, and from a distance it's fine, but when you're sticking your nose into it, it just kind of becomes a little bit synthetic for me. But it's not so bad here. It's maple and suede here. Very interesting, very interesting. So what we'll do is check back in an hour. I know, because I keep going back to that. I'm just repeating myself, and I don't want to do that because nobody needs that. So we will check back in an hour and see where this one has gone. Are you on my phone? Are you on my phone? Okay, it has been an hour and it is dark as heck. Woo, yeah, dreary day. Anyway, it's been an hour and I can still smell this one. And it basically just stays right around here. It actually has a nice throw. What I'm mostly getting when I'm just sitting here smelling it is maple. That's the main thing. It's almost like oh, like a nuttyish maple scent. Yeah, so not just maple. I don't know where the nuttiness is coming from, but that's from what I get when I smell it from afar. It's very sweet. This is definitely a gourmand. You know, if you don't care for those, you may be going, but it's nice. It's nice. And the thing is, I don't find it because of that little nuttiness to it, whatever that is, because I'm not really getting specific, except for the maple specific notes when I'm just smelling it in general. It cuts down on that sweet, which is kind of nice. But let's try it on the wrist. So what it is on the wrist is it's maple and suede. Maple and suede with a little bit of that rum underneath. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's try it on the clothing. Okay, it's basically the same thing. I'm getting that, there is a little bit more pepper to it, so a little bit of that peppery, like pink pepper. I get that more on the clothing with the maple and the rum, the light hum of the rum, and that suede. Very interesting. Yeah, it doesn't really morph that much. And here, maple and suede. So it with a little bink of pink pepper. So it really doesn't morph too much once it's on. Once the suede and the light pink pepper come through, I don't get too much of anything else in that little hum of rum. Very interesting though. It's a very interesting, almost like nutty, boozy maple fragrance, but definitely gourmand. Definitely. But we knew that looking at these notes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to check back in 4 hours. It'll be completely dark. It already looks it now. And we will discuss this for the final time. Okay, it has been 5 hours and this one's still going strong. I can definitely still smell it. I mean, it's locked in, which is pretty impressive because a lot of fragrances really don't last that long, but this one is really going strong. I'm actually really impressed with the longevity of this. Not everybody likes stronger fragrances. This one does go against usually what is a little bit more traditionally worn in Korea and Japan, from my understanding, which tend to be a little bit more gentler, so you can go from different things during your day and not offend anyone. You know, it's very light, very fresh, very clean. This is only the first one that I've ever tried, but this one really is strong and it's bolder than what I would expect in a lot of ways. Very interesting, very mapley. So if you like maple, there's still a really strong maple scent hanging out here. You can definitely smell that. It's so good. I do like the smell of maple. It's actually quite nice. It's not quite, there's a little bit of smokiness to it, but not overly smoky. So it kind of is dulled a little bit, and it's quite nice actually. But let's try it on the wrist. Interesting. On the wrist, the suede note has started to go away a little, so what's left is a little bit of like that maple scent with rum, maple and rum, and a little bit of nuttiness. There is no nutty in it, but that's what I'm getting from it, at least on my nose, which I kind of like. I kind of like that the suede is burned off. Not that it was bad, but I don't know how I felt with it with these notes, if that makes sense. It's just kind of weird to have maple and suede, but I respect doing something different. But I like that it's taken a step back, just because it's not a note that I would put with maple or necessarily with the gourmand, so it was throwing me off a little bit, but I kind of like how unique it was, if that makes sense. Very unique. But let's try it on the clothing. Okay, so it's actually interesting. On the clothing, it's a little bit more what it was before. A little bit of that smoky maple with the suede is more prominent on the clothing than it is on my chemistry. But the thing is, it's blended a little bit better. I think in the initial spray that suede just is a little bit strange for me, but it's more entwined better the longer you have it on. For me, again, this is a preference. It's just suede and maple isn't necessarily what I'd put together. And here, it's definitely more suede forward. It's a smoky suede, with maple underneath. Very interesting. Your chemistry is going to play big on this, but there is a difference between the fabric and on these papers. So very interesting. Smoky suede maple, but it's blended better this time. Very interesting. I didn't quite know what to expect. So far, I'm impressed by the longevity and how well it, I mean, this is the first one I've tried. I think there's like 40 of them, so this is going to be a long series. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So what do I think of this one? So if we were going to put this into categories, I always do at the end, always wear what you want. Woo! But I think actually, I can see how people would think maple and sweetness, a gourmand, is more feminine. But again, like, you wear what you want. I think that suede takes it a little bit to more of a neutral area, but it's very sweet. That maple note is very prominent. I don't find it overwhelming, but it could be a lot to somebody who really doesn't like gourmands. It is very sweet. It's very maple. But I think the suede and the smokiness of it makes it a little less challenging if you don't like sweet scents. So, you know, but I can see a lot of people think gourmands tend to be more feminine. You know, but you wear what you want. And then how do I think this would do? What season? So if we're going to look at seasons, I really think that this would be good for this time of year or fall, just because there's like a rich, smoky nuttiness to it almost. And there's no nuts in this, but that's what I'm getting from it. Maybe it's from the rum component with the maple making that scent along with the smokiness of the suede. But this is definitely going to do better in winter or fall. I don't think this is one you would want to wear too much in summer. If you live in a humid climate, this one's going to be really difficult because of that gourmand. This isn't a light, fresh gourmand. This is a strong maple-based gourmand. So that may be a lot in the heat of summer. It could be a lot. It could really be a lot. So just know that that maple note really stays prominent, but it's drunk maple. I mean, so it's right in the name. Maple. So you know what you're getting into. But it's actually quite nice. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed so far with Born to Stand Out, especially the longevity. That's what I'm really like wow towards. So, because a lot of fragrances really start disappearing. So I'm curious to see what the rest of the fragrances do. But if I were going to rate this one, I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. And here's why. The maple's really good. If you love maple, this is going to be a 10 out of 10 for you. But for me, maple isn't necessarily my favorite gourmand. And after a while, it is a tad bit maybe too one note because it really is maple and then suede and a little bit of rum. And, you know, the pepper disappears and things. So it becomes a maple balm. And that could be a bit much, I think. Not that it is a bit much for me, but I don't know if it's something that I would go for. But that being said, I'm really impressed with, I like how on the clothing, even though you get the maple, I like how eventually the suede kind of intertwined with the rum and the nuttiness of the maple and rum and whatever's making that nuttiness and smokiness to make it more than just a gourmand. It is definitely a gourmand, but it kind of calms it down, and I really like that about it. So yeah, I would give this one a 7 out of 10. Would I buy a bottle myself? I'm not sure, just because I wouldn't go for a maple-based perfume as much, but if you like it, you may really like this. It's done very nicely. Hi. So it may be something that you like, and if you like maple, you might want to look at this. It's kind of like followed but contained. Maybe the note of maple is just really strong in general. Yes, I have followed in this apartment, and I had to wrap it up and put it into a box. So it's reminiscent of that, but it's more contained and wearable. So if you're looking for something like that, and also has a unique component, then this one may be for you. Yes. So what I'm going to do now, ooh, kitty fur, I got to brush you. Yeah, I do. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to talk about K-dramas and some of the ones that are my favorites or ones that I think you have to see if you are interested in K-dramas and are just exploring them. I get asked all the time because I love K-dramas. I'm learning Korean. I've been to Korea. I love Korea. I love the culture. I love the food. Oh, so good. So the K-dramas are really what get me. Really would get me. And please, if you have any recommendations, put them down below, just because I'm always watching some. I've seen so many, but maybe there's some gems that I missed. But we're going to start off with number one, and I'm not ranking them. It's just the number one we are talking about. Okay, so I'm just getting this one out of the way because everybody knows it. It was everywhere several years ago. You could not escape this one. Even if you knew nothing about Korean dramas, you knew about this one. And so I'm just going to start there so we get it out of the way. And there will be some that are a little bit less known for sure. But this one, Squid Games. You have to talk about it because Squid Games. I have friends who don't even watch Korean dramas who knew all about this one. And they were like, what is this? You know, it took over the world. It really did. And so you have to talk about this one. So this one, I will say, if you are not into, here's the thing about Korean dramas. There's different types. There's dramas, but even still, there's always usually a little bit of humor. Sometimes a little bit more of black humor or dark humor. To basically break up the tension of what's happening. And so, and not all of them do that, but this one has a little bit of that into it. But then a lot that isn't. So this one is about, I hope I don't mess this up, Seong Gi-hoon, who is the main character, the protagonist of Squid Games. And basically he and other people who are down on their luck, have borrowed money from people in Korea, basically don't have any money, and this is kind of sad. The Squid Games, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but the Squid Games are created to basically take people from desperate situations and put them into a game. 456 contestants, where they basically play this game, childhood games like Red Light, Green Light, and other Korean games. I mean, they have like Red Rover here in the US, and I'm sure they probably have it there too, but it's a little bit more Korean based because it's a Korean show, like with marbles and things like that. These childhood games that would make us happy and light up, except for dodgeball. That got crazy. I love dodgeball. I was a nut. But, you know, this contained happy childhood memories, and that's what makes it interesting, in which these games become basically a life and death battle where you want to survive. And when somebody dies, money goes into the big pig bank, and only one person survives at the end, and they get the whole bank. Yeah. So this one's tough. If you don't like, I guess, kind of cruelty with some of it, if you don't like violence, if you get depressed by things like that, I would say please skip this one, because there are some really compelling stories within the different games where you get to know the different contestants, and some of their stories are really sad of why they've ended up here trying to risk their lives to win money, because they see no other way out. And it kind of is an interesting commentary of how the rich sometimes can exploit those who have very little, and it shows the desperation that people will do to get ahead. Some will do it in a greedy way, and other people will do it with dignity, or they don't have what it takes to be brutal. So you see the differences in the way that people go about things. It's very interesting, and a very interesting human study. But because of that, there's a very human side to it. There's some depressing things that happen, and the way that certain people are taken advantage of. And I think that's kind of the whole point of it. You'll kind of see that throughout it. It's a very interesting K-drama. But again, if you don't like violence, or you get really depressed by things like that, just know that everybody has to die for there to be a winner, right? So don't get too attached. We'll just put it that way. But it's it's intriguing. I think the first episode, especially when you see the red light, green light, which is the first game that's introduced, which was in all the promos, it was kind of like, whoa. And then they do the first scene with that, the first game, with this happy music in the background with people getting shot. And you're like, what is this? It was just so well directed, so well done. It's really quite impressive. So I really do recommend this one. There's a lot of social commentary. I will say, oh gosh, the rich people in it, there's a group of rich elite people. And I think this was taped during COVID. And so they're supposed to be, I think, American, and they were terrible actors. So just go past that. You can't go past that part. But just know there's some really bad acting from the rich people who are brought in. It's so bad. It's so bad. People still make fun of it, but there you go. But the borders were closed and things thanks to COVID. But oh boy, it's so bad, that acting. I'm just like, the whole time I was like, this is the scariest part of the film. But there you go. But very, very interesting. And also, just if I were you, you don't even need to see the second one. You don't even need to see the second one, because it just doesn't live up to the first one, to be honest with you. I think this could be a one and done, but if you're curious, go see it. I mean, the character, I think it was 128 in the second one, is worth it. But I'll just say that the way the characters perished and things in the second one was like really disappointing, or you're like, what is this? Anyway, it's not as good. It falls apart. And I will say, for me with Squid Games, I don't know how I felt about the ending, to be honest with you. I was a little bit in the last episode, but that's just me. You know, different people are going to have different interpretations of what they like about it, what they don't. But this one is just, it was on everybody's lips. Squid Games. It was like parodied everywhere. It was a big deal. Everybody really was talking about this one, so I had to start with this one. So those of you who are into K-dramas, you're like, really? Squid Game? You knew I had to. You knew I had to. It makes sense. So there you go. But I do recommend this one. But again, the second one, you won't see on this list, because I think the first one stood alone in its amazingness and didn't need to, second story didn't need to be told. But I think they now want to make a franchise, so I think that's where we're coming from. Yeah, because I think they're bringing it to the US. No. No. Will I watch it? Yes. Do I want it to come here? No. But there you go. There you go. So yes, that is the first one. Squid Games. Ding. Let me know if you've seen it. I'm sure you have. Everybody has. So there you go. And until next time, we will be trying another one of these beautiful fragrances. I'm curious to see where they go, because Born to Stand Out. What else could happen? Maple Suede? Didn't see that one coming. So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.